Feel free to share your thoughts on Selena Quintanilla. Do we need to find out something that's hidden? Selena Quintanilla, known as the Queen of Tejano music, has been gone for almost 30 years. Millions of people were happy because of her beautiful voice and contagious smile. Her sad death in 1995 broke the hearts of fans all over the world. But now, after years of keeping quiet, her husband Chris Perez has come forward with shocking new information about this beloved icon's life and legacy. What has Chris Perez been keeping from everyone all these years? How will these new facts change the way we think about Selena? When she was young, Selena Quintanilla was born on April 16, 1971, at Freeport Community Hospital in Freeport, Texas. Selena was born to Marcela Ophelia Quintanilla, a Mexican-American woman with Cherokee roots, and Abraham Quintanilla Jr., a former musician. She was meant to be famous. Ron Paul, who would later become a U.S. Senator, was the doctor who carried Selena to the world. Member of the House of Representatives. As a child, Selena's early years were shaped by her faith and her family. Abraham Quintanilla Jr. saw something special in his youngest child, Selena, when she was 6 years old. After the fact, he told People magazine her timing and pitch were perfect. I could see it from the start. Early notice of Selena's ability set the stage for a musical journey that would captivate people all over the world. Still, the Quintanilla family had a hard time getting to where they are now. In 1988, Abraham started Papagayos, a Tex-Mex restaurant in Lake Jackson, Texas. This is where Selena, Abraham III, and Suzette, a sister, would first act for a crowd. However, the family's business dream didn't last long, as the restaurant had to close a year later because of the economic downturn caused by the oil glut of the 1980s. The Quintanilla family was about to go bankrupt and be kicked out of their home. They made a choice that would change their lives forever in the face of this trouble. They got their things together and moved to Texas. On April 1st, Abraham Quintanilla Jr. became the manager of Selena y Los Dinos, a new band that had just formed. The family was having a hard time with money, so they had to take any job they could find. Street corners, weddings, quinceañeras, and fairs all became their shows. While Selena's fame grew, so did the number of people who wanted to see her. As her growing job got in the way of her schoolwork, which made her father make a controversial choice. In the 8th grade, he kicked Selena out of school, which made her teacher, Marilyn Greer, angry. Greer even threatened to tell the Texas Board of Education about Abraham because she thought Selena was being kept in bad conditions for a girl her age. Selena was able to keep going to school despite the problems. She got her high school diploma from at age 17. He first went to the American School of Correspondence in Chicago and then got into Louisiana State University. After that, she went to Pacific Western University and majored in business administration. Selena's dedication to school showed how determined and hardworking she was, even though her music business was growing. But as her fame grew, would she be able to balance building herself up with the expectations of fame? And how would these Did her struggles make her the artist she would become? Getting started as the 1980s went on, the Quintanilla family's support for Selena's growing business grew stronger. Abraham Quintanilla Jr., her father, fixed up an old bus and named it Big Bertha. This worn-out vehicle became the family's tour bus and stood for their love for each other. Willpower to make Selena's dream come true. In the beginning, traveling wasn't fun at all. The family often sang to get food and barely had enough money for gas to get to the next show. Selena's first LP record, Selena y Los Dinos, for Freddie Records in 1984, was a turning point. Selena liked English language songs more than Tejano music, which was a male-dominated Spanish language form with influences from German polka, jazz, and country music. Her father made her record Tejano music anyway. Selena stood out in a field where female artists were few and far between because of this smart choice. But there was a catch: Selena wasn't really good at Spanish. She had to learn the lines by ear, with her father walking her through each word while they were recording. Selena's amazing work ethic and ability to adapt were shown off by this task. Would her hard work help her get ahead in the tough world of Tejano music, though? When Selena went on the famous Spanish-language radio show Johnny Canales in 1985, that was the answer. This appearance started a relationship that would last for years and give Selena a lot of important attention from more people. Rudy Trevino, the founder of the Tejano Music Awards, became interested in Selena as her fame grew. Selena got the Female Vocalist of the Year award at the event in 1987. She would go on to win that award for 9 years in a row. From 107 to 125, you can watch the clip. But success doesn't come without problems. Many Texas music places turned the band down because the members were young and Selena was the lead singer. People who worked with Selena's father often told him that she would never be successful because she was a woman in a genre that has traditionally been controlled by men. But Selena and her family were not going to give up. They kept moving forward and fought for every chance to show off Selena's skills. Soon their hard work would pay off with a big success that would change everything. What was this important time, though? And how would it make Selena go from being a young artist who is having trouble to a growing star? Selena gets her start in 1989. The Tejano Music Awards were in full swing. There were people from the business world there, like Jose Bihar from the new company EMI Latin Records and the head of Sony Music Latin. Bihar was blown away by Selena's performance right away. Clip here, he thought he had found the next Gloria Estefan. But Bihar's boss didn't believe him and said it was illogical for him to make such a decision after only a week in South Texas. But it turned out that Bihar was right on the mark. Between EMI Latin and Sony Music Latin, there was a bidding war. Sony offered twice the signing fee of Capitol Records, which was EMI's parent company. Abraham Quintanilla Jr. made a very important choice for Selena's career when he picked EMI Latin's offer. Why? Because there was a chance for a crossover record, and his kids could be the first musicians signed to the new label. Bihar and Stephen Finfer asked Selena to make a crossover album before she started recording her first album. The heads of EMI's pop section asked Selena to record 3 English-language songs for them, but their request was turned down. They thought that Selena needed more fans to sell that kind of record. On October 17, 1989, Selena put out her first record, which was called Selena. Her brother A.B. took over as the main record producer and author. The record became a big hit right away and reached number 7 on the U.S. Billboard Regional Mexican Albums Weekly chart. Selena's first song made it to the top of a national music chart. It did better than other albums by female Tejano singers from the time, showing that Selena was a major player in the business. Back in the same year, Coca-Cola asked Selena to be one of their Texas spokesmodels. A wrote the jingle that was used in her first 2 ads. B and guitarist Chris Perez, who was new to the band, cut this out. It wasn't clear at the time how important this new band member would be to Selena's singing and daily life. Behind the scenes, a love story was starting to play out, while Selena's career was taking off. But what would happen to Selena's job if she started dating? And what problems would the young couple have to deal with now that Selena is more famous? Here is a clip from Love and Marriage. Chris Perez, the skilled new guitarist who joined Selena y Los Dinos, was drawn to the lead singer's charm, even though he had a girlfriend in San Antonio. It was impossible for Perez to deny the feeling he had for Selena. At some point, things changed when the band went to Mexico. At first, Perez thought it would be best to stay away from Selena because he was feeling more and more attracted to her. He quickly learned that wasn't possible because they had such great energy and chose to try love. In a scene that could have been straight out of a romantic movie, Selena and Chris told each other they loved each other at a Pizza Hut. From that point on, they were together, but their relationship wasn't easy. They didn't tell anyone about their relationship because they were afraid of how Selena's father would react. He is known for putting the family business first. They had good reason to be afraid. When Abraham Quintanilla Jr. finally found out about the connection, he blew up. He thought Perez was a threat to everything his family had worked hard to achieve. Soon after, Quintanilla told Texas Monthly, "What if they got married and he kicked her out of the band? All the work we did over those years would be for nothing." Things got worse when Quintanilla said she would break up the group if Selena didn't end her relationship with Perez. Perez ran away, was fired from the band, and didn't seem to be in Selena's life again. But love finds a way, and the two talked to each other behind closed doors. Then, on a terrible morning in 1992, Selena showed up at Perez's hotel room door. The girl said she couldn't stand living without him, but she knew her dad would never let them get married or even be together. I thought, oh my God, we're doing this. In the end, Perez remembered, oh my God, what are we doing? The next thing I knew, it was over, and we were called husband and wife. Selena and Chris Perez wanted to keep their marriage a secret at first, but the news quickly spread the news. Abraham Quintanilla Jr., Selena's father, didn't like Perez at first, but he finally let him join the family. Even so, Selena and Perez had problems in their marriage because they lived next door to the Quintanilla family and had to deal with stress at work and at home. They fought a lot, and at one point they even thought about getting a divorce. Later, Perez said that they had to learn how to deal with being together all the time. Other albums. When Selena's second studio record came out in September 1990, it marked a major turning point in her life. Come See Me. There were 3 catchy singles from the record, but Baila Esta Cumbia really stole the show. This catchy mix of Tejano and cumbia music topped the charts in the US and hit home in Mexico, where it went platinum after selling over 150,000 copies. Fans from all walks of life were drawn to Selena's growing fame, which crossed countries. One of her many loyal fans was Yolanda Saldivar, a registered nurse she wanted to start a fan club because she admired them. Abraham Quintanilla Jr., Selena's father and manager, liked the idea. He didn't know it, but he was setting the stage for a friendship that would turn bad. As Selena's fame grew, she worked with Alvaro Torres, a singer from El Salvador, on Buenos Amigos, her first #1 hit in the U.S. The Billboard Top Latin Songs list. This success gave her more chances to show off her huge ability and grew her fan base. Selena released her first record, Entre a mi Mundo, in May 1992. It became a huge hit in the U.S. for 8 months on the U.S. Billboard Regional Mexican Albums chart, with well-known songs like Como la Flor. Selena's fame went through the roof when this song became her signature song. The record Entre a mi Mundo was named the second best-selling regional Mexican album of all time, adding to her legacy. Many people fell in love with Selena Quintanilla because she was different from other celebrities who were fair-skinned. Soon after big shows, one of their most impressive shows was in Nuevo Leon in 1993, which drew 70,000 people. During this time, her personal life was changing even though her career was going well. As Selena dealt with the trouble of fame and friendship, the stage was set for a touching story full of wins and heartbreaks. Selena's fame kept growing in the US and Mexico. What new hurdles and chances did she have in store? And how would her growing fame affect her daily life and her relationships with the people she cares about most? Check back to find out. Live by Selena came out after the success of Entre Mi Mundo. Selena had one more surprise in store. It was released in 1993 and was called Live. It was recorded at a free show at Memorial Coliseum in Corpus Christi on February 7th, that same year. 3 new studio recordings, No Debes Jugar La Lamada and 2 Robaste Mi Corazon, were added to the live album along with live versions of songs that had already been released. The second one is a duet with Emilio Navarra, another Tejano artist. No Debes Jugar and La Lamada both made it to the top 5 on the US Billboard Top Latin Songs chart as soon as they came out. But it was Selena's live shows that really showed what she was all about. Her energy, ability to connect with the crowd, and this recording kept all of Selena's abilities so fans could feel the magic of a concert whenever they wanted. Live had a big effect right away and spread to many places. Selena went from being a music artist to a real entertainer with this performance, which showed how she could command a stage and give a powerful show. The success of the album showed how famous Selena was becoming and how mainstream Tejano music was becoming. Nevertheless, the most important thing about Live. The album won the Best Mexican American Album Award at the 36th Grammy Awards. This honor from the recording industry's top awards showed how talented and hardworking Selena was. It was also a big deal for Tejano music as a whole. Selena became a much bigger star after she won the Grammy. She was no longer just a big deal in her own area or a growing star in the world of Latin music. She was now a Grammy-winning artist who was known and admired in the music business. Selena's rising fame opened up new business options, and big brands were eager to get in on them. The number of Hispanic people in the US's concert halls that turned her down before started to want to book her, and the music business started to see her as a role model for future Latin acts. However, as her career took off, people started to wonder how she would balance her work and home life. Could her relationship with Chris Perez handle the attention she got from being famous? What new projects would Selena, who was full of drive, start next? We'll find out what Selena, the queen of Tejano music, has in store for the future as we learn more about her life. Watch this space as we talk about Selena's move into fashion, how her music kept changing, and the terrible events that cut short this beloved star's life. What hidden things will be shown? And how will the shocking things her husband said? Chris Perez, can you change the way we think about Selena's life and legacy? You might be shocked by the answers. As Selena's singing career reached new heights, her desire to try new things led her to become a fashion icon. She took a big step into the fashion world in 1994 when she opened Selena Etc., a beauty salon and store in South Texas. The main store in Corpus Christi, Texas, opened on January 27, 1994. Soon after, there was a second site in San Antonio. Selena wanted to make these stores more than just regular shops. She wanted to make them a one-stop shop for fashion and beauty. Both sites had beauty salons on site, giving customers a full fashion experience. The shops sold many things, such as Selena's own line of clothes and jewelry, hats, and other things to wear. Selena's move into fashion was a natural extension of who she was on stage. Selena had been making her stage dresses for a long time. She was known for her flashy clothes and style that set trends. This time she was giving her fans the same style, letting them copy her famous look. The person who worked at Selena Etc. was Yolanda Saldivar, the head of Selena's fan club. Saldivar was given charge of Selena's business checking accounts and made manager of the shops. At the start of 1995, Selena seemed to have a successful singing career, a happy marriage, and a business that does well. But trouble was making its way below the surface. Several workers went up to Abraham Quintanilla Jr. and told him they were worried because they hadn't been paid on time. Quintanilla started an investigation because he thought there was foul play. There was a lot of proof that Saldivar had been stealing money from the fan clubs and boutiques. On March 9, 1995. Saldivar was told what Quintanilla, Selena, and her sister Suzette had found. The charge was denied, but the proof was strong, so Saldivar was fired right away. Selena kept calling Saldivar because she was trusting and maybe not aware of the risk. Why? There were business papers that Saldivar had that Selena needed to get. The terrible results of choosing to stay in touch with Saldivar were something that no one could have seen coming. What happened on March 31, 1995, will always be remembered as the death of Selena. It changed the course of Latin music and touched the hearts of millions of people. That terrible day, Selena Quintanilla Perez, the lively queen of Tejano music, died in a terrible way at the hands of someone she used to trust. The New York Times said that Selena had planned to meet Yolanda Saldivar at a Corpus Christi, Texas, Days Inn hotel. Their meeting was meant to help them get financial records for the shops. Selena didn't know that Saldivar had bought a .38 caliber handgun just a few days after being fired for theft. What happened in room 158 of that motel would be looked at very closely and cause a lot of sadness. Saldivar fired one shot at Selena in the lower right shoulder as she tried to leave the room. The path of the bullet was terrible. It cut off an artery. Even though she was hurt, Selena ran to the motel entrance with. Saldivar was after them with a gun still in his hand. When Selena's desperate flight stopped at the front desk, she fell down and cried out for help. In the last few seconds she was awake. Selena was able to name the person who shot her and give the room number. These last words would be very important in the study that followed. It was clear right away how bad Selena's hurt was. The Associated Press said that the hollow point bullet hurt her right arm, lung, and major arteries, among other parts of her body. A lot of blood was being lost all the time. In less than 2 minutes, paramedics were on the scene. Selena had already stopped breathing after minutes. As they rushed her to Corpus Christi Memorial Hospital, they did CPR and put pressure on the wound. Even though they worked hard and the hospital staff massaged her heart and gave her blood, Selena still didn't show any signs of brain function. 1:05 p.m. Selena was declared dead a little more than an hour after she was shot. She was 23 years old, just 2 weeks away from turning 24. Back at the Days Inn, a heated standoff was taking place at the same time. Saldivar had gone to a pickup truck in the parking lot of the hotel and made threats to kill herself. For over 9 hours. The police tried to talk things out with her. Finally, she turned herself in to the cops and the FBI, saying that the shooting was an accident. Even as people around the world tried to make sense of this terrible event, questions started to arise. Who was Yolanda Saldivar, and why did she do something so horrible? How would Selena's family deal with this terrible loss? Mostly her husband, Chris Perez. And what would happen to Selena's record? What did Saldivar do? To understand how Selena's sad life ended, it's important to look at Yolanda Saldivar, the person who killed her. Saldivar was born in San Antonio, Texas on September 9, 1960. His rise to fame started out in a normal way. She used to be a qualified nurse, but after seeing Selena perform, her life changed drastically. She fell in love with the star. She was so moved that she called Abraham Quintanilla Jr., Selena's dad, and asked if she could start a fan club. As head of the singer's fan club, she became a regular in her life and became a reliable friend and work partner. She got more responsibility when she was made manager of Selena's stores, Selena Etc., which gave her access to the star's business accounts. But people close to Selena started to notice that Saldivar was acting in a bad way. Martin Gomez, Selena's fashion designer, talked about his adventures. The Washington Post talked to her about it. He said she would get very angry if she was upset and that she liked to play mind games and make up lies about other people. He also had strange things happen with the clothes he was making. I knew I had finished a certain piece, but I would come back to it, he said. After going to New York, he would come back and find the hems torn out. This made him uncomfortable, and on their last phone call, he told Selena to be careful. Gomez was afraid of Saldivar and said, "I never thought she would hurt Selena. I never thought it would come to this." Despite these warning signs, Saldivar kept her secret. She had a trusted job until March 1995, when she was fired on suspicion of theft. This firing set off the chain of events that led to the fatal accident at the Days Inn motel. Saldivar did a few interviews after Selena's death, including one in 1995 with the BC's 2020, in which she denied being guilty and said, "They made me out to be a monster. I just want to say that I did not kill Selena. It was an accident, and I have no bad feelings about it," but her claims would be looked at closely in court, which would show the whole sad story of that day. Trial and conviction of Saldivar clip from 1213 to 1250. The Latino community in the U.S. was very interested in Yolanda Saldivar's trial for killing Selena Quintanilla. Cameras weren't allowed inside the courtroom, but they were outside, so anyone could watch what was going on. Because of strong feelings, Saldivar's lawyers were able to move the hearing from Corpus Christi to Houston to make sure it was fair. The prosecutors wanted to show a controversial confession from Saldivar in which he supposedly said he shot Selena during a fight over Selena's father's claims of embezzlement. Robert Garza, a Texas Ranger, testified for the defense. He said Saldivar said the killing was an accident and didn't like that police didn't include that information in her statement. During the trial, the prosecution pointed out that Saldivar, who was a trained nurse, did not call 911 or try to help Selena after the killing, which goes against her claim that it was just a coincidence. It took a few weeks, but on October 23, 1995, the jury found Saldivar guilty of first-degree murder. She was given a life sentence with the chance of parole after 30 years. Selena's family felt some justice when she was found guilty, but it didn't make their pain go away. The Mountain View unit is a maximum security jail for women where Saldivar is still being held. In an odd turn of events, the murder weapon, a .38 caliber handgun, went missing after the trial but was later found at the home of court reporter Sandra Obel. Even though people were against it, the gun was taken apart and thrown away in Corpus Christi Bay in 2002. For many fans, this meant the end of the story. On March 30, 2025, Saldivar will be able to get parole, which is still making Selena's family and friends very upset. Public grief at the death of an icon. Clip from 046. When Selena's death was announced, it shocked the music business and broke hearts of fans, especially in Texas and California, where people loved her the most. After the singer's death, there were vigils and memorials all over both states. Fans lit candles, left flowers, and talked about how she had changed their lives. Radio stations played her songs nonstop as a tribute. At the Bayfront Plaza Convention Center in Corpus Christi, Selena's family held an open casket viewing. Tens of thousands of people came to pay their respects. Abraham Quintanilla Jr., Selena's father, was surrounded by white rose bouquets that fans had given him. He thanked the people for loving his daughter. It was April 3, 1995, when Selena was put to rest at Seaside Memorial Park. Her husband, Chris Perez, was clearly upset. Friends and family remembered her by putting white roses on her coffin. Her tomb quickly became a place where people came to pray, marked by a statue of Selena in bronze. On May 25, 1997, a monument called Mirador de la Flor was revealed near her grave. It has a bronze statue of the singer that is life-sized and looks out over Corpus Christi Bay. In honor of Selena's memory, her album Dreaming of You was released after her death on July 18, 1995. It immediately went to #1 on the Billboard 200, which was a first for a Latin singer. The fact that the record stayed in the top 200 for 49 weeks shows how popular she is still. 3 years after she died, the Selena Museum opened, showing off her famous clothes and other items that are connected to her heritage. On November 27, 2017, Selena got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and on November 3, 2017, the former mayor of Los Angeles made it Selena Day. During the 63rd Grammy Awards in March 21, Selena was most recently given the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Recording Academy. Her father said that she would have been thrilled to be recognized, remembering how happy she was when she won a Grammy in 1994. These honors show how Selena's influence on music and culture lives on, still inspiring artists and fans decades after she died. To Selena, with love clip from 045 to 113. Chris Perez, Selena's husband, didn't say anything about their relationship or the events that led to her death for years after she died. But in 2012, he broke his quiet by writing a memoir called To Selena, with Love. This very personal account gave fans a close look at his life with Selena and their quick romance from the time they met in 1999 to the present. In 1989, when he joined Selena y Los Dinos as a musician, they were having an affair and running away together in 1992. Perez wrote about Selena as a talented performer, a loving wife, a loyal friend, and a woman with goals outside of her music business. He learned about her desire to have kids, her love for animals, and her interest in fashion design. One of the most moving parts was when he talked about their last chat. Selena called him from her hotel room to tell him she loved him and would see him soon. They had no idea that it would be their last conversation. It was hard for Perez to deal with his sadness after Selena's death, so he turned to drinking. He talked about how he finally got the strength to keep working as a musician and cleared up some misunderstandings about his relationship with Selena's family. He said that even though they had problems at first, her father, Abraham Quintanilla Jr., supported him. Surprisingly, Perez said that he and Selena had thought about leaving the band to work on their own music projects. This gave fans a glimpse of what their future might have been like, had something bad not happened. Fan reactions to Selena with Love were positive. It gave fans closure and sparked new interest in Selena's life and memory. In interviews after the book came out, Perez said that he felt driven to tell his story because fans had been asking him to for years. He wanted to show another side. People had never seen this side of Selena before. Fans all over the world learned a lot more about Selena as a person thanks to Perez's shocking revelations. They reminded us of the real person behind the famous figure and the lives she touched on and off stage. As we think about Selena's life and impact, we can't help but wonder how her career might have gone. what new information about her relationships might come to light, and how people in the future will remember the Queen of Tejano music. The life of Selena Quintanilla is one of talent. People all over the world are still moved by songs about persistence, love, and sad loss. These songs inspire new artists and touch the hearts of both old and new fans. What other lies about her life could still come out? What changes would have happened in her work if something bad hadn't happened? What effect will her story have on the music business in the future? Feel free to say what you think in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. Please click on the movie that is shown on your screen before you leave.